Hey there, guys. It's Gavin Bird here from the newly branded Pro Commerce Broker Academy. And I'm joined with one of our guys, James Osei. He's been with us, how long is it now? 4 months, 5 months, 6 months?
I think it's close to 8 months.
8 months. Wow. That's gone quick.
Since March.
That's gone quick. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's been
since March. Wow. So James obviously has joined us right in the midst of the COVID pandemic and all of these things that are going on. And yet we are still succeeding, guys. That's the key thing. So what I wanted to really do, James, is just open up with a key question for all the folks that are watching this video and, you know, doing their due diligence and kind of checking things out. What's it been like? What's happened? Like, what was it like from day one? Talk to guys about where you were from day one and kind of what's happened all the way through.
A roller coaster.
It's true though, guys. Actually, just to say that, you know, it's never plain sailing, right? There's a lot of ups and downs along the way, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So definitely, there's been a lot of up and downs, but it's been a great experience overall. From the time I started, I went from knowing nothing about loan brokerage, and down the line, you know, learning from coaches, taking advices from, you know, account executives, going through the materials and, you know, speaking to clients, just a overall cycle, you know, from getting leads, talking to clients and submitting applications and getting deals funded. It's been great, you know, up and down, but of course, you know, with me, I've been very consistent since I started. I've never stopped engaging with clients from day to day, unless, you know, if it's like Sunday, even Sunday, I'm doing, you know, some lead, you know, gen stuff. But yeah, the journey has been great, and I would say it's been very rewarding as well. You know, if you're someone who's willing to put in the work and be consistent and not give up, you definitely get rewarded for it. And that's what I can tell anyone. You have to put in the work. If you do, you get rewarded. And so far, I've been very, you know, happy that I actually, you know, started with you guys. So it's been great.
Thank you for sharing that. What would you say, if you look back at the earlier days to where you're at today, what were the bigger challenges you had then that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, I guess understanding the products.
Yeah.
Because we have a, you know, a wide range of products, you know, from whether it's business funding or real estate. Even with real estate, you know, you have like a whole lot of, you know, types of, you know, programs or funding. So that part was a little bit of a challenge, but of course, you know, as time goes on, as you start submitting deals, you start talking to clients, you come across all types of, you know, clients who are looking for specific type of loans for, you know, specific programs or properties. So you kind of learn as time goes on. So that was a bit of a challenge in the beginning, but of course, you know, after going through those cycles multiple times, I'm very comfortable now. You know, I can see, you know, specific deals, you know, what kind of program will be fit for this deal and what kind of documents are required for specific deals. So I've kind of learned that along the way, and I'm very much, you know, comfortable with that now. But that was a bit challenging in the beginning, but of course, you know, with the type of programs you have in place and coaching materials, those will kind of guide you, you know, to overcome those challenges. So it's been great.
I remember you, actually just your point earlier on, I was going to say to you guys, the magic bullet, because a lot of people look for the magic bullet. What's the secret sauce to make this whole thing work? And James has really just said it, and I wanted to highlight that. It's consistency and hard work. That is really it. That is all you need to do, you know? So James has had his own challenges, and everyone has their own challenges, but for every single person, they're different. And this is where you get this up and down kind of roller coaster ride, right? Because sometimes these challenges, they really do knock you, don't they? Because you kind of feel like, I'm never going to get it. It's never going to work, you know? So where you've had those kind of situations where it's just been like, oh, you know, how is this thing going to come together? How have you made sure you've pushed through that?
Yeah, I mean, depending on who you are, you have access to coaches, you have access to materials that you can tap into. Obviously, you know, sometimes they might be a little frustrated, but you just have to tap into those, resources that you have, and that's what I did. One thing with me, I'm very positive. I never let anything kind of put me down. So, I knew, before joining, there was going to be challenges. I mean, you guys made it very straightforward. It wasn't going to be any, get rich scheme or anything like that. You had to put in the work, and like I said earlier, you have to be, willing to put in the work. You have to be very consistent. And if you're doing that, I don't see why you can't see results at some point. And so, yeah, I mean, at times it was a bit, you felt like you didn't know what you were doing, but of course, you have access to coaches, you have access to resources where you can tap into and get, any type of questions that you need to be answered. So, yeah, it's been great. Like I said, if you have a positive mindset, those things are you can overcome those things very easily.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's just having a positive frame of mind, isn't it? Just to keep pushing through and just understanding why you're doing it in the first place. Because as you just said, there's no way you can't get success at some point. You've just got to keep going at it, right? And that happens for different stages for different people. Before we came on here, guys, Jones and I were just talking about the next stage of the training. He's kind of we kind of split the training into two portions. It's called front end, which is kind of everything you would do to go and get new clients, qualify and understand the deals, the products, etc. And then the second stage of that then is, well, okay, fund them. How do we fund them, package them, get all that stuff done? So we're just talking about James kind of going into that next stage of the training, because he's basically ready for doing that. So that's been an 8-month journey. So I want to kind of just express on you guys, it might not take you 8 months, but it's taken James 8 months, and that is kind of typical, right? And I'm saying that to give you an understanding of what you actually really need to learn here. Okay, everybody's journey is different, and the rate at which you learn, the way you can kind of take on that information and process it and then turn that into action, is basically everything. It's how you get that success. So to James's point, this is definitely not a get rich quick scheme. It's a real profession, and it takes skill, and skill is something that needs time to master. And so as long as you're committed to that, then you can't really not have that happen for you. And then James has mentioned coaches as well. So again, if this is the first video you've seen of us, just to explain that. In fact, rather than me explain it, James, can you explain how that support system works?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's probably one of the best in the industry. I mean, and it's what I've come across so far. So basically, when I joined the program in the beginning, I was assigned an account executive or team leader who kind of helped me. I was doing an onboarding with him. He helped me set up my account. And then, from the beginning, he was, jumping on calls with me. So I would set up a call. I'll send him an invite. He'd be there, he'd take over the call and kind of, talk to the clients and answer any questions that, they may have. Obviously, you're brand new, so you don't know exactly what you're doing, but that's the kind of support that I got in the beginning. So you have that, until, of course, you become comfortable to be able to do it on your own. So I passed that stage. And then you have another support where, you submit deals, you have someone, actually working on that deal from the beginning to the end. They kind of get it funded for you. So you have those, resources. You have those coaches who are able to take you from A to Z. And, it really makes the process seamless, because first, they're helping you again get comfortable on the phone. At the same time, they're helping you in the back end. Once you bring in the applications, they are submitting those deals. Those deals. They will even reach out to the client. If they need more information. And then get your deals funded. So that support, it's been amazing. I can't stress on that enough. You really have to tap into it. And for me, I did. I always reach out to, to those guys anytime I'm in need. And then you also have, your clinics. You have your product clinics where, you have days for specific topics. Whether it's like product knowledge, whether it's lead generation, whether it's mindset, help. So you have those type of clinics as well. So it's just that there's unlimited amount of resources that you can tap into, to kind of get yourself comfortable. with any situation that you find yourself in. So it's been great.
Well said. Thank you for saying that as well. And so, in simple terms, if you can imagine that, you know, getting a new client in a deal and then getting the funding and getting that commission is like the A to Z, step by step. That's the sequential order that we do things in, right? So it's either you doing that, or you and a coach doing that, or the coach doing that. But the bottom line is that if you've got that deal, it's taken all the way through. So that's still funding. And so that's why we've got this sort of strap line of earn while you learn. And that's really what it's all about. There's no better way to train than just getting out there and getting on with it. But what we can do with the way we support is just ensure that while you're learning, you're not really dropping the ball so much, right? I mean, and that was my experience. I dropped the ball so many times, lost good clients, didn't fund, and it was painful. Whereas we don't do that. We don't need to do it that way. So we can still ensure funding happens while you're learning what needs to go on. And that's really why we have such a high success rate, I believe, because it's, you know, you're being trained by people that are doing the thing that you want to go do, right? And that's really how it works. So what's the future for you, James? Where do you want to take this thing?
It's bright. I see unlimited potential, opportunities. I want to be able to do it full time at some point. But of course, my immediate, I guess, goal is to start learning a bit more about the back end stuff, like the underwriting,
funding, yeah.
How to actually fund deals.
Yeah.
Kind of learn that part of the business. And, next one maybe, to be an account executive where I can actually coach people as well. So, but the immediate goal is to, learn how to actually fund the deals.
Yeah. That's
and, like I said, it's great. I see a lot of, an unlimited opportunities. So I just want to be able to tap into that. And I'm so happy that I joined, Do
you know, I've got to say as well, I think credit to you that there's no, how do I put it? I think the reason it's working really well for you is there's no haste. There's no, I need to do this now. I need to be at that point by this month. And it's just, you just take it on and you're just going at your own pace and it's all coming together. Bite-sized chunks, as they call it. And there's others where we have to kind of just explain to them, like, slow down. This is not a race. You just chill out a little bit. And
exactly. Yeah. I agree.
Step, and that's why you're getting the results. And I know for a fact, and I know you know this too, but it's inevitable that you will be doing this full time. And I mean, if you kind of fast forward where you're at from now to then, I don't really see that being a 12-month time frame. Because there's a certain point when a lot of that knowledge just kind of it all gels together. And it seems to be that things are just happening now, and like you don't even know why it's happening, but it's all going in the right direction. And I think you're coming to that point. Especially because you have to be in it a certain amount of time for clients to start coming back as well with new deal flow and those types of things, and referrals to start kicking in. And you're at that point where that really starts to come into play too.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, at some point, yes, hopefully not long, but definitely would like to do this full time. And I mean, the way things are going, it's looking like it because, I have, like you said, you mentioned the referrals, I have, a guy who, is going to bring in a lot of deals with me, so, the pipeline is thick. So hopefully we can get those, those deals funded. It's fun, once you, and anyone watching this, at some point you get there, once you put in the work, once you start building your pipeline, at some point it comes down where, it just comes in naturally. It becomes something that's very easy to do. So I never get tired of doing it, to be honest. I never get tired of talking to clients. Never get tired of, sending those email blasts. Never get tired of, doing lead generation. It's actually becoming like something that's fun to me. It's like, I can be at work and then, on my lunchtime, I'm spending my lunch hour, solely, either doing this stuff. And then on the weekends, anytime I get, basically, I dedicate towards this. So,
that kind of outreach work, I obviously don't do it so much these days because I'm speaking to good guys like you, but it's quite addictive, I find, isn't it? You kind of get yourself in the zone and you're going through your thing. And what I always used to kind of get a buzz from is that you don't know that one message you just sent or whatever it may be, there could be a massive paycheck on the back end of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. There could be a life-changing thing that happens on the back end of that message. And that's what I think, for me anyway, that's what kept me going and kept me going with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good point. Like for me, like I said, I always trying to stay positive, but I always knew that at some point, um, I'll connect with someone who's gonna bring like one of those big deals to me. I knew it was gonna happen at some point. I just didn't know when, but I was very positive that someone out there is looking for is doing a big deal and would need my service. So I think I'm at that point now. So it's great. Again, it'll come naturally. You don't have to stress over it. You just keep doing what you're doing, being consistent, and that will come naturally.
Absolutely right. And then, so just to wrap this up, then James, if anyone's watching this and they're doing their due diligence and they're looking at different programs, I know you went through one or something before, didn't you? Like, what would your advice be? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, like, considering what's happening now, now we have like a new variant of the COVID. We don't know what's going to happen, obviously, but we are still, in the pandemic times. And, if you're someone out there who is looking for a brighter future, great opportunity, that will give you, financial freedom at some point, I think this is it for you. You don't hold back, jump on it, because, the longer you wait, you're missing out big time. And that's what I did. I mean, when I started looking out for an opportunity, I was looking at, e-commerce and a whole bunch of stuff. And actually, I was actually on the verge of joining something else before I came across you guys. And then I was like, yeah, this is it. The presentation was really good. There was no pushbacks. You guys took your time and answered all my questions. You were not trying to sell me anything. You were just trying to give me an opportunity, which I appreciated. So I'll say anyone out there who's looking for, an opportunity, to work from home or to have your own business, this is it. This is great.
Well said.
So
Well said.
yeah.
Thank you. And actually, just to wrap this up, guys, because James just said it there, we never tried to sell him anything. And I think that's such an important statement. And I want to just make this clear to guys, because I didn't realize this, but I've learned since speaking to others that sometimes people are reluctant to book a call with us because they worry that we're going to try and sell them stuff. And all they have is a few questions they want. They want more information about the industry and different things like that. So I just want to say this, like, definitely book a call with us. We're not selling you anything. It's more about information first and understanding that this is the right profession, even let alone the program. And then we kind of dig into those things. So it's kind of like one thing leads to the next. And ultimately you come to the end of that, and either this is the place for you and you want to do something, or you don't, and that's okay too. But it's more a conversation and just being truthful about that, and then everyone's adults, we can all make our own decisions. And that's really how we play things. So
yeah, exactly. And I wanted to add, like I said, I was on the verge of joining another program. Before even talking to them, they were asking for a deposit. So, that was a little bit fishy. But like I said, with you guys, it was just a conversation, and it was great. I had a whole lot of questions, and you guys were like super patient with me, took your time and answer all of my questions. And you even mentioned that, hey, call me if you have any more questions. You never tried to, sell me anything or push back or anything like that. So to me, that was just no brainer. I knew, this was the right thing for me, and I knew I was getting myself into people that I can trust and can work with. So that was very critical for me.
thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's really nice to know that that's how you kind of perceived it and received it. So it's really cool. And I think actually just one more thing to say on that. The other reason we do that, and the reason then James made that decision and is now doing so well, is that you want to make sure you're coming in with your eyes wide open, right? So if the focus from our perspective is just to sell you some training, and that's where we're making our profit, no one can actually say they really care about whether you succeed or fail or not, because that doesn't really matter to them. Where with us, that's absolutely crucial that has to happen. You have to succeed. That's why the support's there, because the coaches are actually that help. They get paid a commission too from the deals that they help you guys fund. So everything's kind of it's all about team effort, isn't it? It's about working together, everyone having this shared goal. And as long as we've got that going on, then to James's earlier point, you can't really fail, because it's just a matter of time before things start to work out for you. So I think on that night, guys, thanks for watching. James, thank you so much for your time once again.
Hey, it's a pleasure, Gavin. Thanks so much once again. I appreciate you guys for giving me that opportunity. It's been the best decision I can say I made. So thank you once again.
Thank you. And thank you guys all watching. I'll speak to you soon.